still be a risk. No matter how strong Nova is, that is still a risk. But the moment you get your second level, I think that is your secondary camp of the buffs. Yeah, that is where Nova starts to look to strike. Because once you have level 2 Hano, yeah, he's pretty much unstoppable, right? Once he gets his second skill on to melee range, he's probably unkillable at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, Team HAQ right now, like, they need to be aggressive, and they're trying to put the pressure on the Wendy already. But again, like, he's fine. He just stays under the tower, throwing out those scepters. And I mean, John is going to actually teleport in the top lane, you know, just get back in. This Diao-chan for me is throwing me in a bit of a loop here.
It is, but bye. Oh no!
Oh, he's going to get the shield. They flash on forward. Way Pit not letting him go. He's going to get first blood. They're going to walk away, and now John is showing up. Mon is there as well, and they get any sort of revenge. Way Pit with that dash away. The Crimson Golem has been taken as well. I mean, Nova Esports taking everything, and Wendy continuing to be aggressive, even at level 3. John's in a bad spot. He's only level 2. He dashes over the wall. Way Pit thought about it. The secondary burst ramp getting him back to safety, but they're going to disengage after that.
Yeah, but the biggest damage here is not about Wendy taking away the Crimson Golem. It's not about Bai dying. It's the fact that Kongling was left untouched. He has now taken every single thing away from Bai again. And look, first minute and a half, and we already have a 1,000 goal lead. So, yeah, you know what? Team HAQ need to work better on this defense and really understand what is this Nova invasion lineup. Because how do you lose? How do you lose Bai's jungle without Kongling even invading in the first place?
I don't really know.
I'm sorry.
I'm laughing because I really don't have any answers right now, because Team HAQ right now are completely on the defensive. John has really been struggling as well. He's a level behind Xuan, and Bai struggling 2 levels behind Konglin, who's like, you were addressing the fact that he was by himself just farming, and he's made far use of that time.
Yeah, and look, Team HAQ in the mid lane, Man finally won his lane, and still they lose. So Nova is just putting too much pressure on the Team HAQ at this point. Kongling's already at level 5. He has a 2-level advantage against Bai, right now 1, but he can jump for days. He doesn't even need the reset at this point. No Dolia, no problem.
Yeah, no Dolia, no problem. I mean, look at how they're just invading. They're imparting their will because they know that Team HAQ right now are so far behind. They're sending the house because they know that they need to at least try to defend this Crimson Golem. But it doesn't look like Konglin wants to really just go for that 50-50 smite. They're going to be back.
Yeah, Bai would do well not to use his smite at this point, right? I think he needs to save it for his Azure Golem. And at this point, I think he did use his passive, which is the release as a freebie. And you can see what Waypit is doing. I like this playstyle. You guys should really take a look at what Waypit is doing. He may not be able to steal the buff down here without taking a huge risk. But this information, once again, he gets the timing for the team. And Nova will then be able to make another good, conscious decision on what to do next.
Yeah, and not only is it about the timing and that vision, but now Team HAQ are feeling a little uncomfortable. They have to send 4 people just to ensure that Bai secures it, because you know that if it was just like one-on-one, Wayput would at least try for it with that burst ram and getting him in and out. So it's another situation where you're tracking them into a certain area while that creates space for the rest of the squad elsewhere to just farm.
I think a little is an understatement at this point. Yeah, this is so difficult. I mean, I've had difficult games, but damn, I've never had this kind of difficulty before.
Yeah, but when they're difficult at the end of the game, you just report your teammates, right? At least you have that. And this one, it's a little bit tougher, right? Because you're like, oh yeah, I just reported you in the game, but you're like, you're friends with them and you just constantly queuing with them. But now it looks like the Tyrant is up in about 4 minutes at the 4-minute mark here. But this is looking, I mean, Team HAQ are looking to start this off, but Konglin just making his way around. It doesn't look like they really want to defend. Maybe they'll give this up. Wendy still with them scepters on the side. Konglin looking for that flank. Here comes Furball. Tries to go on to Wendy, who's actually taking a decent amount, but that bait rewind, he sits on back. He gets back to full. The Tyrant is going to be taken by Bai. That's going to be a great win, but John getting picked up on the top side of that one, near the river that is in the mid lane. He's going to be picked off though, and Mon gets killed as well.
All right, that was a decent effort coming in from the side of Team HAQ here. Man actually getting Waypit out in order to reduce one of the number of tanks available on the side of Nova. Unfortunately for them, They lose that team fight. Oh no, Bai will be taken down. Truth Mantra by Xuan to make sure they secure that. It's now a 2,000 gold lead, which is kind of surprising, right? Nova is not overly pressing at this point.
I mean, Bai just wants to be left alone, right? He wants to be that solitary farmer where he's just by himself, just sipping some coffee, just taking his time. But Nova Esports have been aggressive, constantly invading, hounding, contesting, making things very difficult. And Team HAQ right now have not been settled into this series.
They have not. They've been placed in a very uncomfortable position at this point, right? Where the question is, it's not even about team fights, it's about what kind of resources do we have. And Wendy is just poking them down. Every scepter of fate hurts even more and more.
Yeah, like how are you supposed to fight when the team is out, like, you know, growing you in the sense of like 1K per minute? You know, you're so far behind to take any sort of fight, and now you're getting even further behind. It is a tough situation for Team HAQ, and it looks like they're going to go with Heaven and Earth. John had been killed in the top lane as a solo by Xuan, so they're doing everything and winning all of the lanes and putting even more pressure on Team HAQ to do something. Oh, here's the Moonscape Mirage. That's going to be the first one of the day, and it looks like he's going to be locked in. Chicha, though, will get the kill. Muchi, that is, says, how dare you send me to the afterlife?
Yeah, Muchi, you know, at that point of position, it felt a little bit risky because he had already used his ultimate. But then that is where the level advantage comes in and the gold advantage comes in, right? So Muchi definitely was able to sustain a little bit longer, get the lifesteal. And with that huge range of snipe, he got the kill on demand. And right now, T3 is under pressure. Team HAQ, they're going to try their best.
Yeah, try to do their best, but the Fate Rewind zips it on back. You're like, okay, focus on me. Wendy's like the perfect tank. He shrugs off everything, because if you're looking at the roster of Team HAQ, it's like they don't really have a lot of burst. Lola is not online in terms of that damage just yet, so they don't really have enough. So Wendy can play even more aggressive, being that front liner, and again, just staying alive, which is going to be a tough situation for Team HAQ to deal with.
Yeah, Lola needs 6 more levels and about what, 8,000 more gold at least to be able to make a stand against Nova at this point. But that's just one. Yeah, 8,000 is definitely the number here to hit 12K. Here we go, one-on-one, John.
Okay, John barely surviving on that one. That teleport, that was super close, and I think that he's going to be happy with that. But again, not really much. They haven't taken a tower, so there's really not a lot of space even to teleport. And now Waypit just forcing it down on Nuo, who's just like happily taking this.
Yeah, right now there's too much tankiness on the side of Nova, right? Who realistically are you able to take down? The question to that is no.
Yeah, really. I'm not sure how you're supposed to take them down. I mean, they're so far behind as well. So that Nova Esports, they're tankier, they're doing more damage, and they're just slow sieging you. They have, you know, this Kong Lin, and he just hounds on forward. The Heaven and Earth, they find Nuo, not able to get enough to do the damage to kill him, and Nuo will survive, but they turn their attention on this bottom T3, easily taking that off with all of the space that was provided.
And so smart, right? You take a look at that movement by Nova. It's actually to push them back. It's not to get the kills, it's to push them back so that nobody clears the wave of minions coming in, so they get access to the backdoor protection being taken down, and there's a free T3 at the bottom. Team HAQ though, they need more.
Yeah, they definitely need more. Oh, nice Trevor smash! Waypit setting it up. Xuan waves the flag. He stays alive. Bai is not going to be as lucky. John is into the fountain. He gets that, but it looks like they're going to take the crystal. And Nova, just like that, will take game number 3.
Beautiful setup to end the game, and this really was spectacular because it shows you how controlled Nova are in this series itself. Right now, they're going to be at series point 3.0 with plenty more options for the draft to explore still.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're really diving deep. I mean, they have so many different options, and this is why when you're playing on the international stage and you have the moment and the experience of a best of 7, it's going to make you better in the end because you are constantly going to be tested and you have to dive really deep into that hero pool, and having it just being able to continue on and to know that the draft is going to be key, but you've been there before. This is a well-versed veteran squad that is incredibly scary for any other team right now at the KSI4.
Yes, and while this definitely is a painful lesson, I think this is a much valued lesson for the side of Team HAQ, right? Now you have to really consider, okay, the draft-wise, what do we start with? We know that the weaknesses of Team HAQ is this initial invasion. They don't have the answer to that yet. Mostly because I think it's just based on the ban picks. They don't really have the heroes that equipped to deal with a level 1 invade. At the same time, the secondary part is, how do you play the map as Team HAQ, right? What do you do when you're losing? And I think we've asked some of the pro players this question before, and the answer was always, okay, we try to hold off, we don't really take a fight, and we try to